Roth IRAs are an amazing tool that you can use to become a tax-free millionaire. Roth IRAs are an account where you put your post-tax income into the account, and then all of the money, all of the contributions, all of the growth, all of it grows tax-free after that. You've paid your taxes up front, and once your money is in your Roth IRA account, it is going to grow tax-free year after year until you need it. Then when you get to pull it out, you pay zero taxes. You can be a millionaire pulling money out of a Roth IRA account and owe zero taxes on that money. It's truly one of the most amazing account options if you are in the USA trying to save for retirement. It is also my personal favorite account, and if you're eligible to open a Roth IRA and contribute, I highly recommend it. Make sure you look into the details and make sure you're eligible, but if you are, it is such a great option for retirement and just for saving in general, because it has options as well for you to pull out money for your first home, and you can always take out everything you've contributed as well without any penalty. There's a lot of reasons why the Roth IRA is amazing. I will link a video about the Roth IRA and all the reasons why it's amazing and how it works down below, but today I just want to talk about my 3 favorite places you can open a Roth IRA. I get a lot of questions about where my Roth IRA is, where I recommend opening one. And so today I'm going to share the 3 places I always tell people to open a Roth IRA, and I'll give you the pros and cons of each so that you can make an informed decision and pick whichever one is best for you. This video is not sponsored, and these are actually places where I have accounts. I have accounts at all 3 of these places. My Roth IRA is at one, my husband's is at the other, and the final one is where I have a taxable brokerage account and a SEP IRA. So I use all 3 of these places every single month. Each one has pros and cons. I feel like every brokerage, every place you could open a Roth IRA is gonna have pros and cons. So we'll go over those as well, so you have some ideas about what you might like or might not like about a place to open a Roth IRA. Remember that no decision is final. You can always take an account if you open it at one place and roll it over to a new option. Moving accounts is a lot easier than it used to be, so you're not stuck. If you start with one place and you decide you don't really like it, you can always move, but these 3 are really good options to get started. They're easy for beginners, they have great funds, and I love them. Let's get started and look at the 3 places I recommend for opening a Roth IRA. The first place I usually recommend is Vanguard for a couple reasons. One is that they pioneered low-cost index funds and mutual funds, and they are owned basically by you. So Vanguard is owned by the people that invest in their funds. They are a great company, and it is one of my favorites to recommend. I personally use them as well, and Roth IRAs at Vanguard are super easy to set up. They also have a ton of educational stuff on their website about IRAs and Roth IRAs and whether or not it's right for you, whether you should invest, and how to pick investments for your IRA. So they have a lot of education, which is great for people that are new to Roth IRAs. Setting up a Roth IRA at Vanguard is super easy. You can walk through the process in under 10 minutes and have everything set up. I have done this in the past, and I actually opened a Roth IRA here like over a decade ago. And since then, the experience is a lot better and user-friendly. So it's really easy no matter how comfortable with tech you are, and you can do everything online. They do have a lot of, like I said, information about Roth IRAs and comparing them to other accounts and all of the rules that you need to know about Roth IRAs. All Vanguard funds are really nice and they have very low fees. So if you're doing index funds in your Roth IRA and you don't plan to do anything besides that, you will be great with Vanguard. It's super easy. You can set up automated contributions to go into those index funds and purchase them every single week or month. They do also have advisor services if you need them. As you can see, the setup to have a Roth IRA is pretty easy. They've improved this process a lot. They now have videos that kind of walk you through things and instructions. So it's a lot easier than it was previously. The UX on the actual website is a little bit less appealing than the other 2 options I'm going to share with you. The next 2 are a lot better in how they look and operate, but Vanguard is still my personal favorite just because of the way the company operates and the great funds that they offer. So you'll notice in my videos, I personally invest in Vanguard funds. My next pick for Roth IRAs is Fidelity. You can actually buy Vanguard funds on Fidelity and the next option as well. So if you're wanting to have just specifically Vanguard funds, you can purchase those in many different places. But for Fidelity, we have used this as well, and Fidelity is great. A lot of 401k plans use Fidelity to run their 401ks, and they've really improved their Roth IRA options as well. They also have a lot of different options if you want to do your own Fidelity Roth IRA, or if you want to have some help with it, or if you really just want to have some advising, they have a lot of options for that. I feel like more than even Vanguard did. So with their process, it's very simple. And they, again, also have similar educational tools. They have a lot of information. So you're making the right choice. And then they, like I said, have the options where you can have them help you manage and determine your risk tolerance and make sure that the funds that you are investing are the right ones. So these do have advisory fees, so you'll have to make sure that your fees that you're paying for the help make sense, but you can also just open one by yourself. You can open a Roth IRA on Fidelity really quickly, like I'm showing you here. It is a quick process and it doesn't take more than a few minutes. You just fill in all of your information, and it was very simple when we opened one previously just to make sure that we liked Fidelity. Fidelity also has some amazing zero fee funds. So even better, honestly, than some of the Vanguard funds, Fidelity has some index funds and mutual funds that are almost even better because they have zero fees. So Fidelity is an amazing choice, and their website is a tad bit better than Vanguard. It's still not as good as the final option, but if you're wanting something that is very well known, very established, and has a better website, Fidelity is the way to go. The final place I recommend for opening a Roth IRA is M1 Finance. I use M1 Finance for our taxable brokerage account, and I love the platform so much. You'll see a ton of videos about M1 Finance on my channel, and it is something that I'm both an affiliate for and I just really personally use and love. So they have a whole section on retirement. They offer more than just the Roth IRA, but the Roth IRA option at M1 Finance is amazing. They also have been offering people amounts of money to roll over so that they have more accounts for retirement accounts on their platform. So a lot of people have gotten hundreds or even thousands of dollars just for transferring over to M1 Finance. The best things about M1 Finance are that you are able to build your own strategy. You set everything up. You can choose ETFs and stocks, and you can also get advice in the form of choosing the expert pies that they already have set up. So you can invest like certain advisors do or certain wealth managers. They have a lot of different pies that you can select and choose and then implement that in your own portfolio. But you can also do it yourself. And it's really simple to create pies. I have videos on how to actually use M1 Finance if you want to look at those. But when you open up a Roth IRA, it's very simple. If you already have an account, you just go to add an account, and then you go through the process of adding a Roth IRA. A few of the reasons why I recommend M1 Finance is because they have such a user-friendly platform, and it's designed well. If you like your websites and your apps to look good and function in a way that makes sense, M1 Finance is way ahead of competitors like Vanguard. And even though you can buy the same stocks and ETFs, it is a better overall experience in my opinion. And I personally have enjoyed M1 Finance, the actual use of the app, way more than some of the other brokerages that I've used, both currently and in the past. So those are all three places that I use. If you're interested in any of them, I will leave a link down below. I love them, but there are tons of other options out there as well. I have only had personal experience with these, which is why I recommend them, because I've used them and love them. But there's other great brokerages out there that are good as well. Honestly, it almost doesn't matter where you start. It just matters that you get started. One of the biggest investing mistakes I see people make is putting it off and just waiting and waiting to get started. It's better to get started early, and it's better to get going than it is to find the perfect place to open an account or the perfect investment to invest in. Your plan does not have to be perfect. You just need to get started. Remember that I am not a financial advisor. This is just for informational, educational purposes only. You should always do your own research and look into everything on your own. I hope that this gives you a good starting point, and then you can look into things and research what would be best for your own life. Remember that Roth IRAs are a really valuable tool, especially if you want to become a tax-free millionaire. And if you want to get a little bit more information, watch this video. It goes over some of the ins and outs of Roth IRAs and what you can expect and what they are best for. I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions about any of these brokerages, let me know in the comments.